All right. Thank you very much, David. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to MT4 Professional's presentation on using a Forex market scanner here with the Synergy Trader event and the content that's here. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be going through a lot of strategies and using a market scanner to look for specific setups using the MT4 Professional scanner. I want to make sure everyone knows that we are here for educational purposes only, that MT4 Professional or Resilient Traders, it's not an investment advisory service, so we kind of give you specific trade advice. But what we can do is teach and train you how to use our platform to develop a trading plan that is both consistently profitable and successful. Trading with future stocks, Forex, options, cryptocurrency has a large potential for reward, but also carries a large potential for risk. You must be aware of the risks involved and be willing to accept them in order to trade or invest in any of these markets. Past performance is not indicative of future results, so please get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading or investing in any of these markets. Do not trade with money that you cannot afford to lose, and never trade in a live account until you have first proven you can consistently and profitably trade in a simulated account. And then you can start on the mind game. But as I said, I'm Randy Lindsey. I'm your trade coach and operations director at MT4 Professional. Joining me today is Claudio Cardinale. He's our product development director, technology guru. He makes sure that everything is kept running. He puts out all of our software updates and makes sure that everything's running properly in the background. And today we're going to be talking about using a Forex market scanner and looking specifically at strategies within MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 platforms. I'm going to be going over what a market scanner is, what you should be looking for. Talk a little bit about what MT4 Professional is. Of course, I'll give you a live demonstration of our platform and what it entails and what it enables you as a user to do. And as part of the Synergy Traders event, I'm going to make a very, very, very special offer toward the end of my presentation today. And I will answer any questions or comments throughout the presentation if you use the webinar chat box on your Zoom window. All right. Well, looking at different strategies that people employ and that they use within a scanner, some of the most popular ones are EMA and price, where you're looking at pure price action. There are a lot of pure price action traders that are out there, and you're looking at that relative to an exponential moving average to give you context in the direction or in the entry or exit of a position. MACD and signal are very popular. A lot of people like the MACD because it gives them a crossover point that can be fine-tuned to the current market. It's a convergence divergence strategy that looks at two different moving averages relative to the setup. You have moving average crossovers where you're looking at two or more different moving averages that interface with each other, and you want to know when those cross. Or you've got a combination of strategies where you're looking at an overbought or oversold condition that's verified by a directional change, or where you've got pure price change relative to an EMA. And so all of these can work together within a scanner. You just got to know how to set them up. So a scanner, the MT4 Professional scanner, can scan in real time all of these strategies and alert you when the conditions are met for a potential trade. So what is a market scanner? What is MT4 Professional? Well, if you look at all the different Forex pairs, the 50 different Forex pairs that you have access to, 20 different CFDs, 9 different time frames, well, that's more than 630 different combinations to look for potential trade setups. If you think you can do this manually, then you're probably incorrect. Most often you miss opportunities. Most often there's trades going on that you don't know anything about. Well, if you're trading on different instruments, it's required if you want to be profitable in today's environment. Trading uncorrelated instruments is a great way to remove uncertainty and to diversify your portfolio. So all the instruments that you're missing out on are there for the picking if you had a market scanner to look for them. So in general, a market scanner It's a tool that allows you to automatically scan the whole market situation at a glance for any symbol or any time frame using your own custom rule sets based on standard or custom indicators that you have access to. These are ones you've either written yourself that are standard on the platform or that you've purchased from a third-party vendor. So it's not the signal provider per se, it's not a signal provider, but it's a tool that allows you to analyze the strategies that you want using the tools that you want in the time frame that you want. So here's a simple example. Over on the right, you can see a symbol list. So these are the symbols I'll be looking for. Over on the right-hand side, you can see different time frames, 1 minute and 5 minute as the example I'm looking for. A bullish setup, I want to see a green sell, and a bearish setup, I want to see a red sell. So if we're using a 2 moving average cross, then the bullish cross, I'll say is green, is when the 15 period moving average crosses over or on top of the 30 period moving average. And a bearish cross would be the red cell showing the MA15 crossing under the 30 period moving average. So if I very quickly scan, you can see that the scanner has found for me very quickly all of these symbols and the relative cross position. So I can see that the dollar yen on the 1 minute is red, but the 5 minute is green. That tells me there's either a correction in place or a potential reversal coming. And vice versa, you can see the same for the Aussie dollar, where you have a green red. So the 1 minute turned green, but the 5 minute is still red, showing there's a correction in play or there's a potential for a reversal coming. Here you can see the euro pound is in a solid trend, as is the euro CAD in a solid downtrend. So you can see all of these setups here relative to each other. So a scanner helps me to do that very quickly. If I just had one page up or one profile in my platform, I would only be looking at one or the other of these. I couldn't just rifle through all of them at one glance. And if I do see one, I would like just to be able to click on the symbol and then see the charts for that setup. I don't want to have to drag and drop my symbols onto every chart just to be able to see what it's doing. So a scanner that can do that for me would be awesome. Here's another example, what you're looking for. If a market scanner is doing all this work for you in the background, finding these trade setups and telling you where the corrections are, where the trend is going to return to the longer term trend, or if you can spot the potential reversals early, well, that gives you a lot more time to focus on things that really matter, like managing your trade or getting your mindset where it belongs, because the market scanner's out there looking for the trades that meet your conditions, that follow your rules, which is your own strategy. And then it alerts you when the conditions are met and favorable for a trade. So this example we see on the right is just for an EMA and price. Like the previous example that I showed you here, I was looking for a cross. Here I'm looking for price to be greater than a 15 period exponential moving average. If it's greater than, I want it to be green. If it's less than, I want it to be red. So that gives me a really good trend component of moving direction. So on the euro US dollar, you can see that there is a 1 minute and a 15 minute bullish signal, but there's a bearish 5 minute. Well, that tells me that the 1 minute just changed back in alignment with the longer term 15 minute. I'm expecting the 5 minute now to start changing, which is the end of the correction and a resumption of the existing trend, and it's going to continue to go up. Same with the pound dollar. You can see that the dollar Canadian is in a longer term confirmed trend up, whereas the S&P and NASDAQ are both in confirmed trends down. The Dow looks like it's in a trend change where you've got first and second time frames that are looking to be a trend. So I'm expecting this to change to a red, not only in alignment with the other two markets, but to correlate and come in line with the change of the faster time frames. So you can see that that's a trend change. You have a potential trend change on the Bitcoin here. We've got longer term reds, but shorter term green. It could either be a correction or it could be a reversal. I'm looking for all those. So a single click should get me right in on those things. And, we keep talking about multiple time frames. So as a user, you want to know and be adept at using multiple time frames. Why? Because trading with multiple time frames gives you a higher probability of a profitable trade. And that's due to correlation. It's one of the advantages of using multiple time frame technical analysis in your trading. So by checking multiple time frames before you initiate a trade, your trades will be in harmony with the longer term market. So look at the examples over here on the right. Here's a 4-hour, a 1-hour, and a 15-minute setup. Notice how trending the 4-hour is with periods of correction as it moves through the day. The 1-hour and 15-minute look very noisy by comparison. We see a lot of corrections and noise coming in and out. And that's normal because you'll see those exact same fluctuations during the trend. But the longer term trend smooths everything out. So if you're trading a 15-minute chart using a 4 or 1-hour chart as a confirmation, then you're only going to be taking long trades as the longer 4-hour trend continues. Only when it starts to correct will you be looking at or taking any of these short-term trades. What this does is it gives you into higher probability trades with lower risk because the trend will always be moving in the direction that you're going to be taking the trade. So these shorter term corrections can be taken, but just make sure you keep your profit targets small because you're not going to get any home run trades unless you start trading in the direction of your longer term axis. So if you had a market scanner that could search for these types of setups based on your own rules and then verified using multiple time frame analysis, it would be an extremely valuable tool. So here's an example to show you what we're looking for. This is a 4-hour, a daily, and a weekly chart setup on the Euro US dollar. I've identified those as a potential bullish setup, even though it is in a downtrend. I'm looking for the potential that's there. So if I see the price crossing over the 15 period EMA, if I see a MACD histogram cross over a signal line, that's a bullish cross. And if I see rising relative strength out of an oversold condition, that's very bullish in my opinion. And I would like to take that as a potential trade. I verify this as a confirmed trade entry by checking the other two timeframes. The second time frame, I don't need to see if the price crossed. I just need to see that the MACD has crossed, and indeed it has. And I need to see that the relative strength is gaining or rising in strength. So that's very bullish. That confirms on second time frame. Third time frame, I need to see the relative strength rising. So it's coming out of an oversold condition and rising, giving me 3 time frame confirmation that this is a good trade. I take this trade, the resulting profit ended in over 100 pips on that move. So trading in harmony with this longer term market, showing you that the relative strength is coming in and the crossovers are there, gives you a trade that is high probability, low risk entry. So by taking these trades, you guarantee that you're going to be putting yourself into a favorable trade position. It's a powerful combination for any trader because it shows the importance of using multiple timeframes in your trading. So if a market scanner uses multiple timeframes, it's a valuable tool because it does all of this for you automatically and you don't have to worry about it. The problem that we ran into as traders on MT4 was that we couldn't find any scanners that gave us that ability. Most of the ones we did find were too complex to configure, which meant you had to be a programmer to use it, or it was unstable, or a single tool that didn't integrate with the system. They were incompatible with a lot of the indicators that are standard on MT4 and MT5, and lots of other issues. So what did we do? As traders, we developed our own. We called it MT4 Professional, and now MT4 Professional is the #1 market scanner on both MT4 and MT5. It's a tool that allows you to instantly scan the market for setups that match your own unique criteria and rules using whatever indicators you want to use. So when you find a good setup, it also allows you to enhance your trading with technical analysis. Multiple time frame technical analysis really isn't easy to do on MT4 and MT5, and I'll show you that in just a minute. but it's a tool that does it for you automatically. So let's go into a live demonstration. If there are any questions along the way, please feel free to ask. I haven't seen any questions yet. I've got the chat panel open, but if you have a question, let me know, and I'll be glad to answer those. So let me pull up my MT4 platform here. This is a standard MT4. I'm not in MT4 Professional at all. It's a add-on to the MT4 platform, but I'm showing you the what you usually are used to working with. You can see that different time windows, different time frames. If I'm using them, I can go into these windows with the ease, and I can work with them. But notice that they're not integrated. If I wanted to look at this window, the 15-minute, and then I wanted to see if the move down at this point was correlated or not, I have to run over to this window and do the same thing. I have to right middle mouse click and look at the time that this occurred. And then I have to go over to my hourly chart and right click and middle click and then see its time as well. So it's not really convenient for me to be able to see and to correlate these windows. Also, if I wanted to change my symbol on these, I have to physically go over, drag and drop the symbol from my market watch onto each of these charts to see each one of these charts. And likewise, I have to simply click those. Also, if I have a larger window and I want to expand, look at all the real estate that's on the bottom of this window that's wasted, that I can't see. I have to physically resize these windows. Well, at least they're all the same size, so I can go under my window and reorder them. But what if I have windows that aren't the same size? I won't be able to reorder them very easily. I have to physically and manually redraw each one of these windows if I want to go from a large or a small screen. Sometimes I want to have a smaller screen and use all of the real estate that's available to me, but sometimes I want it to be expanded very quickly also. So I'm going to use my profile option and go into MT4 Professional, and I want to show you the advanced features of a professional trading system. Now, it's set up a little bit different than you're used to, but it's set up as configurations. A configuration is a collection of charts, scanners, and symbols all together in one place. So all you have to do is create a profile, a configuration that goes through that. I have one that's here that's called EMA and price, so I'll use that as a default. I'll load it up from the web. The web is a cloud storage that allows us to store everything in a safe place so that you don't have to worry about losing any of your data. So what we're looking at here is 3 different time frames, 5, 15, and 30. And notice that the crosshair is synchronized between all 3 of these windows. So I can move this crosshair anywhere at any point, and I can look at the location by clicking on the screen and see that that location is correlated with this location, is correlated with this location, giving me direct access to time and price at any one particular point. Also notice on the left-hand side is my symbol list, and you can see the scanner hardworking, searching for bullish or bearish conditions that meet the criteria I'm looking for. So if I were to click on another symbol, for example, the dollar Canadian, then you can see it'll automatically change the symbol on all 3 of my windows, giving me the ability to analyze those based upon the current scan conditions. So those are all really nice, quick features. But the other thing I wanted to show you is if I were to go full screen, you can see all of the real estate's automatically filled in, regardless of whether I have 1, 2, or 3 windows open, and everything is integrated so nicely and set up well. Now I can still use these windows in full screen any way that I want to, but it's a really great way of synchronizing everything up and making sure that all of my real estate is used at any one time. Again, if there are questions, just let me know. Each one of these screens are controlled by configurations. So looking at the configuration, if I were to move this over, what is it that causes these cells to turn red or to turn green? Well, those are rules. The rules are found within the scanner itself. So if I were to open up the scanner and look at it, then you can see I have a main CR or color rule, which is a name I gave it, that's associated with the setup. So if I were to edit that, then I can show you I'm looking for the close of price to be greater than or equal to the 15-period exponential moving average. That's what you want to see. So whenever the price closes greater than this EMA 15, I want to be triggered with a green color. If that is not true, if it's less than, then this one will be true. It'll ask, is the close of price less than the 15 period? Well, if the close right here is less than that 15 period, then I want to see a red sell condition. If neither of these are true, then by default, I'll have a yellow sell condition. That's the rule set. Well, if you pull the menu down, you can see I only have these two indicators available to me right here. But if I had another setup or condition I wanted to test, say, for example, I want to see if relative strength was greater than 30, then you can do that. By clicking the plus sign, you go to the indicators that you have available, either select a standard indicator from your MT4 or MT5 platform, or you can pick from your computer any indicator that you've created or any third party that you've purchased from there. So if I'm looking for an oscillator and I'm also looking for a relative strength, then I want to use that indicator. And I want to see it as a 14 period based on the close, and it's on the currently closed bar. That's the one I want. So I'll click OK. So relative strength, is the relative strength greater than 30? So let me put in a constant value of 30 there. And I'm going to check that. So not only am I looking to see if price is closed over the 15, but I want to see if the relative strength is out of an oversold condition. So I want to be able to buy it. Likewise, I want to use that same RSI value. And in this case, I want to see if it is less than, and I want to add a new value, in this case, 70. So if relative strength is less than 70, then that will be bearish. So if price closes below my 15 and I am out of an overbought condition, that's going to be a very good setup here. So that's how you add additional ones. If you can add as many different indicators or conditions as you want, and notice I have two condition sets, I'm not limited to that either. I can add a third condition as well. If I'm looking for that, if that's not true, then that's not true. If there's a third case that's true, then you can test for it as well. There's no conditions that you can't do. You can call it anything you want. I just called it main CR, but you can give it any name that you like that accurately describes the condition that you're looking for. I'll hit cancel because I don't want to save these changes, but normally you would hit OK to take the change and then select those. So notice I have the main color rule selected for my 5-minute time frame. I have it ticked on. If you look at the 15-minute, I have the same color rule on. If you look at the 30-minute, I have it on. If I wanted more time frames, all I have to do is just click the plus sign. Notice it added me one more time frame. You can set that to be any time frame that you want. And then all you have to do is turn the color rule on, and that's all you need to do. Now I have my same rule set, but it's running on the 1 hour charts instead of all three of the other ones. And if there's a setup that you said, okay, I really don't need the 1 hour chart, it's doing everything I want it to do for those, just click the X to get rid of it and click OK to make sure everything is updated. Once everything is updated and the way that you like it, click the Save button. A check mark will appear telling you that it has been backed up not only to your computer, but also to the cloud. Everything is backed up on the cloud, and everything so that you don't have to worry about losing data, or if your computer crashes or your hard drive goes out, everything will be backed up, and all you have to do is install the software and it's ready to go again. Over here on the right, you can see a share icon. A share icon is a tool that allows you to share any of the configurations that you've created or that anyone else has created with anybody else in the Traders Network. The Traders Network is all of the currently subscribing MT4 Professional users that are out there. So anybody who also is using MT4 Professional can trade amongst themselves and swap all of their configurations with each other. It's a great way for everybody to be on the same page using the same tools at the same time. And let me close this out. Anytime you make any changes, always hit the load button following that to reload all the changes that you've done into the currently running scanner that's on the screen. While I'm here, I'm going to go down to a MACD setup. There it is. This is one that's looking at current price. And you can see there are several moving averages, and I've got a momentum indicator and MACD, but that's the specific template that I'm using. Now, you can use any template that you have access to. You know, if you have a lot of templates like I do, then you can use any of those templates that you've developed or create any new template that you want based upon your setups. But the idea is to make sure that what you have on your screen gives you a good relationship of what you're looking for on your scanner. So if I were to look at the configuration to find out what are the rules needed to get these changes to occur, then I want to pull those up and see what they are. So edit. If I click on the charts on the right here, then you can see the setup of the configuration for each chart. I've got one large chart and then two smaller ones. 15, 30, and hourly. You can see that those are set up with that. So every time you load them, they will always come up in this configuration. You don't have to worry about them being moved or changed or anything else. And you can change them and move them around any way that you want to. Let me show you that. So if I were to take this and move it, change it, resize it, take a different template, load it up. See, notice I've kind of messed things up just a little bit. All I have to do is just click on the symbol once and it automatically resets it back to the original settings that were saved before. So you can postulate, look forward, change things, draw a trend, whatever you want to do, and it will always come back to this same setup. Now, if you do add trend lines or other things like that on there, it will save those and will back those up whenever you go through your configuration. So it will save those for you, so you don't have to worry about them going away. So looking at the configuration, let's look at the scanner and see what the MACD rule set is. I called it a trade signal. I have it on a 15, 30, and hourly charts. And so click the little pencil to edit the rule set. So what I've done is I've loaded the MACD indicator twice, two instances of the same indicator. But since there are two outputs, I'm looking at the base indicator on the first output, and I'm looking at the signal line on the second output. So if you were to go in and edit that indicator, you can change any of the parameters. You can apply price change. The mode is what you want to make sure is correct. So this one is looking at the base indicator. The other one is looking at the signal line. So I'm looking at two outputs of the same indicator and comparing them together. So what that does is looking at this histogram, this is the base indicator. It's the white histogram. The red line is the signal line. So at any point, if the white line is less than the red signal line, that's a bearish condition. And I want it to be colored that way. On the other hand, if it's green, a bullish condition, I need to see the histogram greater than the signal line. The signal line, red line, has to be under the white histograms. So that's the bullish bearish setup I'm looking for. If neither of these are true, I want it to be yellow. The way I have the logic operators set up, it's always going to be one or the other. So it'll always be red or green. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you while we were here is that if you get a condition you want to be notified, then you turn on real-time notifications right here by ticking this box and saying okay and saving it. You can also have them sent to your phone via SMS messages by enabling your phone in the members area. And that way you can send your alerts to your phone whether you're at your desk or not. Okay, let me close this out. And what I want to do now is I want to pull up a mobile browser. So if I were to pull up a browser for you, Here I've got it turned on to MT4 Professional's main website. If you become a member and you log in with us, then all you have to do is click the sign in button to go to the membership homepage. This is the homepage where you'll always log into every time you launch MT4 Professional. Here, this gives you that ability to download the software right at the top of every page. It's right here. We just updated to version 3.1.1, which just came out yesterday. So you're going to be having a fresh new version ready to go. You download MT4 version here, you download your MT5 version there. We give you access to either one, whichever one that you're running. You can even run both of them if you have multiple license accounts, so no problem running them concurrently. We walk you through the onboarding process, and if you need help anywhere along the way, let us know. Click a call and set up a call for if you need any help with us along the way. And if you need any documentation whatsoever, then just visit the documentation center right here. It is our knowledge base. It goes through all of the installation, upgrade, quick start videos, and step-by-step instructions on using any of the general configurated rules, the scanners, the workspaces, the scanner rule sets. And even if you have issues with regards to Telegram, your notifications via Telegram or SMS messaging, your credit card billing or your subscription cancellation, anything along those lines can all be done from the members area. If you go back to the main membership site, on the pull-down menu, click on the real-time scanner. The real-time scanner is a neat feature because what it does is it enables you to walk away from your desk, go to lunch, have coffee, and not leave the important stuff behind. It allows you to take it with you. So by clicking on the base account you have running on your computer, you can load it into your browser, your mobile device, your cell phone, whatever you've got with you, and you'll see a live scanner on your mobile device. If you see a particular setup like this potential reversal occurring, then I click on that symbol. It will change the symbol on my desktop back in my office and give me a snapshot of that so that I can see what the current configuration is and whether it's going to be a bullish or bearish move for me. If I like the configuration, if it looks good for a trade, then I just contact my broker on my mobile device and take the trade right then. I don't have to worry about running back to the office to see or make the trade there. It's a really sweet tool, and it's available to you at any point along the line. Notice that the window right here on this first one is clipped a little bit. That's because I ran out of the office and I left this in not toggled mode. So if I were to click on this window and fix it, then all of my snapshots will be correctly oriented. So that's just one small thing that you run into, that it's a powerful system, but it's not more powerful than a mistake that you might make. So make sure that you're always set up properly. I see that I've got a question here from Katie. He says, how do you set up two different MT5 Pro instances on a VPS, one real and one demo? All right. Are there any recorded videos? There's not, but it's just a simple installation, because if you are trying to set up two instances, then you'll have two different MT5s running on your VPS. And then when you log into your MT4 Professional account, you'll have access to both of those instances. So if you look under the main membership area right here, then MT4 and MT5 account licenses will be listed here. And then you'll see that you have access to multiple accounts via this. So I have currently 9 licenses real and 6 demo licenses. And you can see that which ones have been used and which ones haven't been used. So if you only have one demo and one real account that you want to run at the same time, both of those will automatically appear here if you log into your MT4 or MT5 account for that particular setup. So right here, I'm signed in with one demo account. And so if you log into your MT5 instance with a live account, it'll automatically connect to MT4 Professional and log it that way. You will see them both on this screen. And if you want to have multiple accounts, then you can delete the license log into a new account and it'll automatically log into that. It'll only let you log into the number of accounts based upon how many licenses that you own or that you are subscribed to. And are there recorded videos or written text files about how to use MT4 with proprietary firms using evaluation periods and real prop trading funded accounts? No, because it doesn't really matter. You can use this like regular MT4. It just has a lot of other really nice features. So you can use them with any prop trading funded account firms right along the way, either MT4 or MT5. And we are starting to migrate everything more towards MT5 because it's a faster platform, has more indicators, more timeframes available. But MT4 is still the standard workhorse, so we're still keeping everything on both platforms for now. And you can use their own MT4 and MT5 platform. You can download it and use it. Just make sure that you install MT4 Professional onto either of those platforms, and they should work right away. If you need help with that along the way, or if you run into any issues, just contact us and we'll be glad to help you along. All right. So where was I? Oh, yeah. So the last but not least, I've gone through this help area. I've gone through the sharing, cloud-based. Everything is set up. Oh, yeah. Third-party indicators. Let's pull up some third-party indicators here. See if we can get some of those going. Hawkeye is a third-party indicator, which has a bunch of volume-based software suites. And so what you can do is integrate these setups here with MT4 Professional on a chart layout. You can notice on the scanner that I've got multiple scans running on a single time frame. Like here, I've got 3 different scans running on one time frame. Here, I've got 2 different scans, and over here, I just have a single scan. So let's look at the configuration to see how I was able to do that. Click on the scanner, edit this up. And you can see I'm looking at trend, volume, and heat map. It's 3 separate scans. I have them all turned on, so it's going to be giving me an output based upon each one of these conditions. If the trend is green, then it will give me a green output. If the volume is green, then it'll give me that output. If it is heat map is green, that's what I want to see. I want to see green, 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 all the way across the board for any of the timeframes or setups. On the 15-minute time frame, notice I only have 2 of them set up. So I'm only interested in volume and momentum. And then on the 3rd time frame, I'm really only interested in volume. So I have the other 2 turned off, and I'm only looking at the volume contribution for the output. Okay, so the output that I'm looking for needs to agree in volume on all 3 timeframes. If you're running any type of a automation script or anything, then it works perfectly well, and we can create expert advisors for you if you need that. So just contact us and we'll be glad to set up the automation scripts that you need. So let's see what we're doing here. Oh, yeah. So by looking at this setup, I'm looking for the agreement. So this is a white trend, a dark red momentum, and a white volume. So you can see white trend, white volume, dark red momentum. The 15 period is green, green. So I can see that on the 15-minute time frame, I'm looking for a green trend, and I'm also looking at green volume. On the 3rd time frame, you can see it's green volume. So I'm getting close. All I need to see is for the last push above the overhead resistance you see by the stop value, and I might be in a continuation trend of the longer term. So you notice the longer term is green. Also here, you can see the longer term here is in consolidation. It's not really green, but you've got a huge reversal bar coming in here showing me that the potential for it to go long is high. On high volume, high reversal count, there's a good probability that this will continue up higher from this point. So once it confirms it by that, then I will see this turn all green I'll get a signal on my device, on my Telegram, on whatever device I'm using, and I'll know that the euro US dollar is ready to trade. Obviously, the time frame right now is not optimal for trading because this is on the turnover rates are consolidated at this point. So you don't want to be trading during this time of the day anyway. So always be smarter than the system that you're using to trade with. All right. Any questions then before we move into the rest of the presentation? All right. So then I want to make you a very special offer. Thanks for being here with me today. What we offer you today is a full-featured MT4 professional system on MT4 or MT5. We give you full access to our Skype community, which is access to all of the users within the MT4 community and our Skype channel. You get access to unlimited configuration storage, unlimited emails and push notifications. You get access to 100 SMS messages per month and unlimited Telegram updates. You get all 14 pre-configured presets that I showed you, which have active strategies already working for you. All of that is a value that we think is affordable, but at the same time, we want to push it forward to you for $97 per month. But because you're part of the Synergy Traders event today, we're going to knock that down another 70%, $23 a month. Give it a try for 14 days, and you can see that it absolutely is the best platform that you've traded on using MT4 or MT5. It does most of the work for you in finding trade setups, and it makes it automated. So you give it a 14-day free trial, lock in the $23 rate using the code ST43. Use the code ST43. Let me put that link in your chat window there. Oh, thank you, David. I appreciate that. MT4Professional.com/trial. And use the code ST43, capital S, capital T, 43, so that you can lock in this $23 per month rate. Otherwise, you're going to get locked into the $97 rate. This is grandfathered in. That's correct. So it doesn't go away next month. It doesn't go away in 3 months. It's going to be a lifetime lock-in rate. But it will go away if you cancel at any time, or if your credit card gets canceled, whatever. If you happen to change, or if there's an error, we always work with you and we'll always correct all that. So that's not a problem there. We're fair. But we want to give you this offer because you're part of these Synergy Traders event today. Try it out for 14 days. Make sure it works for you perfectly. At the 15th day, that's when the subscription will start. You can cancel anytime within the 14 days and still get the full 14 days to try it out. But if you cancel anytime within that, you also cancel out and lose your subscription, a discount. So this is a 70% discount on the already 50% discounted monthly rate. So lock that in. We don't offer this very often at all. So the link is mt4professional.com/trial to get you on board. And if you have any questions at all during the process, then you can always contact us at support@mt4professional.com. That's support. I just typed it into the link there for you. So you just copy and paste it in. That'll create a ticket, and we guarantee 24 hours or less reply to any of the questions that you might have. And we also give you access to our 24/7 Skype channel for any questions that you might have, either from the community or from us, because we're on the Skype channel live 24/7 as well. All right, so let me leave that on the screen and let me get my MT4 back up again. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave that there, and I'll be able to go back through any type of configuration examples that you want to see. So if you have questions with regards to a setup or a configuration or a specific indicator that you might want to load, then by all means, ask away, because this is the time to do it. Now, I've shown you configurations that were complex, that were simple, and were from third parties. So here's one right here where I'm using 3 different indicators all at the same time. All right, I'm using a 4-hour daily and weekly chart setup. In this setup, I'm using the EMA and price strategy with a MACD and signal line and a relative strength. So looking at the configuration for this one, I'm going to look at the scanner and then looking for the strong signal. I've got it applied to a 4-hour and daily, but I also have a trend color rule, which I have applied only to the weekly. See that? So I have different rules for different timeframes. It can be configured any way that you want. You don't have to worry about being limited if you're using MT4 Professional. So pull the menu down, click the edit button, and then you can see I've used, in this case, 3 different conditions in order for it to be a bearish setup. So I'm looking at 2 instances of MACD. The MACD histogram has to be less than the signal line. Close of current price has to be less than my 15-period exponential. And I need to see the slope of the relative strength going down. That means the historical price of relative strength 2 bars ago has to be greater than the current relative strength close. So it's looking back in price to see if it's higher than the current, and that tells me it's a downward moving relative strength. That's all very bearish, and I want to see a red sell if that's the condition. If any one of these conditions are not true, then it's going to go and evaluate condition set 2. It's going to look for the MACD histogram to be greater than the signal line. It's looking for a close of price to be greater than the 15 period, and it's looking for a positive slope. That means that the relative strength 2 bars ago, historical relative strength, has to be less than the current relative strength. That gives me a positive slope, and I want to see it building. Now, I could also look to see whether it's greater than 50%. I can look to see if it's overbought or oversold to keep me out of it. There are a lot of things I can do. That's what the plus sign is here for. You can always check for additional conditions if you need to. They're available to you. Okay, so if neither of those are true, or if any one of these are not true on either case, then the default color yellow will be posted showing that this is in consolidation or that it's setting up and it's not quite ready for prime time. All right, so that's the signal setup. Notice on the longer time frame, I'm just looking for a trend color rule. Well, it's just a simple close of price and a 15-period exponential. So I'm looking to see if it's bullish or bearish based upon its current close relative to that trend. So you can see we went through a very long period of downtrend, and now it's crossed over, and now we're starting to go into a period of uptrend. That's all I want to see. I want to trade in the direction of the longer term trend. And so the scanner allows me to do that and allows me to see it very easily and automatically. So I don't have to even worry about it. So even though it looks like a complicated setup or strategy, it actually isn't and can be set up quite easily within the scanner conditions. Now, within the scanner, you can see that there is a gearbox here. If I click on that, you can see there are specific settings. Now, treat empty cells as 0. So any cell that you have an output for, if there's no output available, then it will treat it as a 0 value. That way you don't have any divide by 0 values that are set there. You can enable your crosshair or disable it if you don't like that. If you don't like the color, you can change the color to match the background that you like. And if your current symbols have a prefix or a suffix requirement, then you can enter those prefixes or suffixes here to make sure that you're loading the correct symbols into the scanner. And the scanner speed determines how fast the scanner is going to be zipping through all of these cells and all these timeframes, because what's actually occurring is that the scanner goes through and evaluates the color rules for each time frame, for each symbol, and then it goes through, as you can see here, and the more evaluations that you have available, the slower, the longer it's going to take it to go through, unless you have a super speedy computer system that goes through and does that. So you can set the scanner speed to go through it very fast, medium, which is the normal speed, or slow if you have an older computer, or if you have to go to your laptop or something where it's going to be very CPU intensive. So if you're running a really high-end strategy using indicators that require a lot of CPU power, slow your scanner speed down so you don't overpower it, or that you don't start getting error messages, which means that the scanner's running ahead of the ability to calculate the sell. So that's a way of slowing it down or getting it tuned up to your specific computer. All right, there are other questions. If you do have a crash, if you lose your computer, someone steals it, you have to reinstall it, or even if you're on vacation, you go over to your brother's house, you want to take your trading platform with you, all you have to do is load up your MT4 platform, install from the members area, install MT4 Professional, which is like 3 different clicks and it's installed. And all of your configurations are already configured and ready to go. You don't have to worry about rebuilding anything. So everything is already set up and ready to go. Is the trade usually from a reversal, or am I looking for all green or all red? That depends upon your strategy. Reversals are always the best place to be looking for potential trades, but you want to confirm it as well, because a reversal might just simply be a correction depending upon what time frame you're looking for. And you don't have to have all of them green in order for the trade to be a good trade. It depends on your strategy again. So you can set it up any way that you like based upon your setups and strategies. So if I were to load up the default, which is the, see, these are all the presets that we give you for this. These are all the default strategies and color rule conditions that are set up for you. If we load up the the EMA and price, which is the default setup for this, then you can see I have it loaded on 3 different time frames, but many traders use it on the base time frame, which is the 15-minute chart. A lot of them will say that if I see a close of price greater than the 15-minute, then I'm long on the trade. And if it comes back and closes below that, then I'm out. If it closes back above it again, then I'm back in long again. So, and that's as long as you're in line with the longer term 30-minute setup. So you can use it any way that looks good. If you want to wait for all of them to turn red, then that means that you're basically trading the 30-minute chart. So, and that's a little bit too slow for most people. So you probably want to be looking for these types of corrections. This Euro US dollar, it went red here, but you can see the very next bar, it's pulling back up, and high probability it's going to close back green in line with the longer term trends. So that's just a simple correction. So you've got to take into account your time frame. You've got to take into account the direction of the longer term trends. You got to take into account time of day. I mean, right now it's a interest payout time. They're all consolidation and closing the books for the day, and they're going to be turning everything off for the next hour. So you don't want to be taking trades this time of the day unless you're a longer term trader, in which case you're not trading on these time frames anyway. You're trading on the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, and then you don't really care about the changeovers. You want them to pay you the interest at the end of the day. So yeah, so it can be a reversal, it can be a setup, but you've got to be smarter than the charts, and you've got to be able to see into those. Your strategy will set it up and will show you what you need to see. You just have to know. It'll give you a trade signal, but if it's a trade signal at 4 in the afternoon Eastern time, you don't want to take it. So just be smart in that way. Are there other questions? We've got about 1 or 2 minutes left in today's presentation. Just remember, you can get started on your free trial by clicking on the link MT4Professional.com/trial. You get 14 days to try it out absolutely free. Make sure when you set up your trial to use the code ST43. That will give you a $23 per month locked in rate for life if you stick with us. And if you do have other questions, then you can always contact us at support@MT4Professional.com, and we will answer your questions and get you going. I really appreciate your time and attention today, and I hope that you come and visit us and pick up a chat with me in the Skype chat room. Even during your trial, that'd be great. I look forward to getting to know you and working with you personally. Thank you very much, David. I'm done.